Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So this is kind of a convoluted story. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to break it down in an easy way for everybody to understand. If you've been following this show for a while, you know that I've been reporting on a fake candidate that was run down in Florida. It appears now that Congressman Matt Gaetz, who's taking a lot of heat right now, justifiably so, for potential sex with underage girls or trafficking an underage girl, he may have somehow been involved. He may have, if not a direct involvement in that fake candidate down in Florida, he may at least be tied to it in a way. So I'm going to explain. A man named Chris Dorworth just lost his job with a pro-Trump lobbying firm called Ballad Partners. I mentioned Dorworth the other day. He's the man who allegedly had a conversation with Gaetz about running a fake candidate to help one of Gaetz's buddies win his race by siphoning votes away from the Democrat. So same thing as what I've reported on before. This Dorworth guy literally just left this firm, and they've already scrubbed their website of all traces of his existence. So that tells you a little bit about how they're feeling about him. When you visit his page on their website, actually, it shows the 404 error code and it says file not found. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. I'm sure it has nothing to do with this expanding Gaetz probe or the fact that this guy's now implicated in potentially rigging another election in Florida. If you're not familiar with what this is all about and how it relates to Gaetz, here's the deal. A woman named Justine Iannotti ran for a Florida Senate seat in the 9th District. She was one of 3 candidates in that race. The others were a Democrat and then this Matt Gaetz ally named Jason Brodeur, who ended up winning that seat. As with the other fake candidate story I've been covering about Alex Rodriguez, Iannotti registered as a no-party affiliate just days prior to filing her documents to run for the state Senate. So she wasn't running as a Democrat or a Republican. She was basically like an independent candidate. Just as with Rodriguez, who helped the Republican win in his district, Iannotti refused to give any interviews. She held no public events. She didn't campaign at all, not whatsoever. Yet thousands of dollars were spent on mailers sent to residents to promote her campaign. Those mailers were funded by the same dark money group that sent out the mailers for Rodriguez. The group was founded in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's called Proclivity. However, when authorities try to trace it, the physical address for Proclivity is that of a UPS store. So they have no physical address. And again, just as with Alex Rodriguez, the fake candidate in the other district, her mailers, Iannotti's mailers, contain messages that would appeal to the progressive wing of the Democratic Party and potentially draw votes away from the real Democrat running in that race. And the mailers for both Rodriguez and Iannotti were printed by the same company located at someone's house in the city of Clermont. Another thing that Iannotti has in common with Rodriguez is her financial situation. Iannotti has nearly $175,000 in student debt, and she reported only $2,344 in income for 2019 as a substitute teacher. So that was before the pandemic hit. And then at the beginning of 2020, she was fired because she failed to show up for required training. So the school district let her go. In addition, her campaign raised nearly nothing, just like Rodriguez. She supposedly raised only $700, according to her campaign finance reports. reporters have been reaching out to people who allegedly gave money to her campaign. One of the people listed as a donor is a man named Todd Karvosky. He told reporters that not only did he not contribute any money to Iannotti, but he's never even heard of her. He isn't even registered to vote. The guy does not participate in the voting process at all. So he didn't contribute to her, never heard of her before, has nothing to do with her. The other supposed donors also appear to be falsified, which in and of itself is a crime. And by the way, she just literally packed up and moved to Sweden last month. And that's according to her own Facebook post and her father. Not suspicious at all, right? I would venture a guess that Iannotti heard about Alex Rodriguez and Frank Artiles, who paid Rodriguez to run. I would venture a guess that she heard about them being arrested for running the same kind of bullshit scheme that she appears to have been involved in. And that's when she decided to abscond to Sweden. Here's the other thing that ties these fake candidates together and to Gaetz. Frank Artiles, the aforementioned former Republican state senator who paid Rodriguez almost $50,000 to run in that other race to help another Republican, Ileana Garcia, win, even though Artiles helped Ileana Garcia to win, he didn't spend election night celebrating with her. Instead, he was at the party for Gaetz's ally, Jason Brodeur, the man who was running in the same district as Iannotti. Why would he be at that party? The Brodeur party, this celebration when he won, is where Artiles had a few drinks and he started bragging about helping to put Ileana Garcia in office. And now there's news that Artiles is tied to yet another fake candidate who ran in Florida. According to a 38-page search warrant that was just recently released by the Miami Herald, authorities found documents in Artiles' home related to a candidate named Celso Alfonso. I believe I mentioned him in the first video that I did about this whole thing, but I can't remember for sure. But Alfonso ran in the 39th district in Florida, and he had an identical profile and campaign to Rodriguez and Iannotti. He held no events, he had no money, he did no interviews, mailers were paid for by dark money sources. All three of these shill candidates, as a matter of fact, registered as no party affiliation just prior to announcing their candidacies. But Rodriguez and Alfonso share many other similarities, and they really appear to tie them to Artiles. They both use Gmail accounts, for one thing, for their campaigns, and they set them up in the identical manner with their first initial, their last name, the district number that they were running in, and then 2020. They both reported that they personally loaned $2,000 to their campaigns, and then they used almost $1,200 of that money for the filing fee. They were both registered Republicans when they voted in the 2018 midterm elections, and they both qualified to run in the election on the very same day. Their campaign checks were both delivered on the same day, and all of the paperwork was time-stamped within minutes of each other. The checks and the paperwork, by the way, were all hand-delivered in Tallahassee, Florida. So investigators have found that Artiles flew to Tallahassee to deliver the paperwork and money for Rodriguez, so obviously he did the same thing for Alfonso. And both Artiles and Rodriguez were hit with additional charges last week stemming from this fake candidates scheme. They were both hit with charges related to using a fake ID and address for Rodriguez to file his candidacy because he actually didn't live in the district that he said he did. But here's the really big news about all of this. There's another person involved, and prosecutors, for some reason, haven't named that person yet publicly. This third person involved in this fake candidacy of Alex Rodriguez withdrew allegedly $9,000 from a bank in Miami and gave it to Alex Rodriguez. It's kind of strange that they're keeping the name under wraps. I don't know if it's because they maybe can't charge them with anything, because the laws in Florida are screwy. As I've said before, the state is insane. So, running a shill candidate, as I've said before, is not a crime. You can run a fake candidate. They consider that to be just normal political BS. And it's not a crime, unfortunately. Where they've gotten Rodriguez and Artiles is on campaign finance laws. So if you can prove that someone violated campaign finance laws by donating more than the legal maximum, you can get them for that. So that's why I'm confused why they haven't named this person or charged this person who gave the $9,000, unless they're trying to squeeze Rodriguez and Artiles to give up somebody higher in the food chain. Doesn't mean it's Gaetz, but it doesn't mean that it's not Gaetz. So as I said before, wouldn't it be great? I mean, if this is all connected and Gaetz ended up being the bowling ball that took down all of the pins, he took down all of these lying, cheating Republicans in Florida with him. From now on, maybe Florida just needs to start naming their hurricanes after Matt Gaetz, because he seems to be poised to just take down everything in his path and leave a wake of destruction. So instead of using the alphabet to name them, they should just start naming them Gaetz 1, Gaetz 2. But what I wonder, though, too, is who might be sweating it out right now? Who's out there in fear that Gaetz will be charged with crime soon, and then he might take a plea deal and agree to give up dirt on someone higher up on the food chain? I guess if we start to see Republicans sticking up for Gaetz and making excuses for him, that might be a sign, might be a bad sign. So I'll keep you guys posted on all of this, but yeah, a lot of dirty dealings going on in Florida. And as I've said before, if Republicans knew that their message was popular, if they knew that what they were doing and their platform was right and popular with the people, they wouldn't need to cheat. What they're trying to do is ram unpopular positions, unpopular policy proposals down everyone's throat. They like to think that, oh no, we're the party of the people, we're the party of the working class, blah, 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 when everything they do shows the complete opposite, and they know it. They know that they're not for the people, because if they were, they would just naturally attract voters. They would naturally win. They wouldn't have to play all these games and cheat to win in elections. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. It just shows you that they don't even buy their own bullshit. They know that they're going the way of the dinosaur, and they're trying to hold on to power in any way they can. How about changing your platform? How about actually working for the people? How about adhering to and embracing policies that people want and need? All right, guys, I'll keep you posted. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.